DJI Mavic 3 Pro. All the latest information. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button or ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Brunt. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest information about the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, including brand new pictures and specifications. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety.
Three of the new news. You know what? It's so much news popping out now. Bill, you and I are all time, drone guys here, and we get accused of pontificating. You could almost smell the Mavic 3 in the air now. Like you could almost, like a Jedi, you can almost sense it being stocked at your local Best Buy. Don't you feel it's real close now, Bill?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Well, today, let's see here. First thing I'm going to cover is, the specs came out today.
We're in a countdown in 10 days now, right?
Yeah, we're on 10 days. Okay. Here's the article from DroneXL. Mavic 3 specs leaked ahead of launch for DJI drone. Specs for the video. 5.1K footage at up to 50 frames per second. 4K up to 120. 1080 up to 200. Highest bit rate for video recording is 200 for H.264 and 140 for H.256. The 3's Hasselblad camera in the Cine edition can record video in Apple ProRes 422 HQ format, which is the most significant distinction from the standard Mavic 3 drone. The standard Mavic 3 drone features 8 gig of internal memory, whereas the Mavic 3 Cine has 1 terabyte of internal storage. Micro SD cards of up to 2 terabytes are supported on both Mavic 3 versions. 5,000 milliamp hour battery allows for up to 46 minutes of flight time. Mavic 3 weighs in at 900 grams, can reach an altitude of around 4 miles and a maximum flight distance of about 20 miles, but a transmission range of 10, according to Mavic 3 specs leaked by WinFuture. Mavic 3 uses OcuSync 3, or O3 as it's called now. However, elsewhere in the spec sheets, OcuSync 2 is mentioned in the DJI RC N1 remote controller. We're trying to get clarification on this, and this has been dropped in the link as far as the description is concerned. Ron, what are your thoughts on the specs?
Well, I mean, one thing just popped out since we just talked about the internal storage of the Hubsan. So if you buy the base model Mavic 3, you're going to get the same 8 gigabytes of storage that we've seen in the Mavic 2. So they still haven't upped the storage unless you go all out and purchase the Cinepack. That's kind of surprising, Bill.
Yeah, I am real surprised at that, Ron. They're talking about it'll allow up to a 2 terabyte SD card, but if you've ever looked, a 2 terabyte SD card is not cheap. Okay, it's going to cost you. You're going to have to break open a piggy bank to get it. But it's nice that it'll support that. But good point is made here. Okay, Hubsan has up to 128 on a mini drone, but DJI doesn't have it on the Mavic 3. Okay, that's it's kind of a head scratcher for me, Ron. I don't know about you, but
especially since they heard so much criticism with the Air 2S that they did increase it.
Yeah. That's really kind of surprising in my book.
And another spec that jumped out at me, you mentioned about the Cinepack model or Cine model being the only one who could do the ProRes, and so we kind of knew that. But do you think there's a mechanical difference between the base model and the Cine model, or it's all just a matter of more advanced firmware in there?
I think it's more advanced firmware because with the FCC filing, they said they tested the Cine version and that they said all the mechanical specs are the same between both drones. Okay. So it's going to be the software, and the Apple ProRes and the 1 terabyte of storage are going to be the big differences here. Okay. Now, these are some leaked pictures that came out, and I think this came out yesterday.
Yes.
And again, we're not really surprised by this. We kind of expected at this point in time.
And people are still complaining about the arms being too thin. They think they're going to be fragile.
Yeah, and how many times
pictures?
Yeah, and how many times, Ron, have you heard anybody ever having a problem with arms from a Mavic Pro type drone.
Yeah, that's something from the old toy drone days. But yeah, I've never heard that
Yeah,
being a
this
problem with a
isn't
premium
plastic,
drone.
this isn't fiberglass. It's not brittle. It's gonna, unless you crash this thing at 45 miles an hour, you're gonna be fine. You're not gonna have a
And you're
problem with
not going
that.
to do that with your obstacle avoidance turned on.
No, no. And here's the controller, and it's no surprise. It's the same that we see from the Air 2S.
Yes.
It's the same type of controller here, Ron.
Yes. So the control we all know and love.
And what's nice is with these pictures, they gave us a peek at the Fly More combo for the base model right here, which is what you see. And then the Fly More combo, here's another shot of it.
Okay.
And then the Cine Premium, and you can see there, evidently there's going to probably be markings on the drone to identify it as Cine. And then there's a picture of it there, another one there, and then a picture of the Fly More combo with the Cine that shows the new smart controller, which is really, in essence, it's just kind of I'm going to say a beefed up version of the original smart controller.
Yeah, we saw smart control 1.1.5.
Yeah, it's exactly what this is.
And how about you get 2 sets of ND filters with it? Well,
yeah. And that's kind of surprising.
And there's your multi-charger.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah. And what do you think of that propeller guard? That's the most intense propeller guard I've ever seen.
Interesting. Okay. I think, and see, and I remember it may have been, Lauren, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you kind of cautioned us from using that on the Mini because, the original Mini had that guard on it. Remember that, Ron?
Yes. And look, Lauren put the pricing in the chat here. It's about five things back. You want to pop it up on the screen? No, you're in the middle of your big thing, but here's some things inquiring minds want to know. So Lauren's saying the base pack will be $2,049. The combo pack will be $2,799, and the Cine will be $4,649.
Interesting, very interesting, Lauren. Thank you for that information.
Thanks, Lauren.
And I want Bill Thomas is in the chat. Bill, welcome tonight.
Welcome in, Bill. And Bill's got a big Halloween show planned tomorrow night. So if you guys aren't doing anything, put your costumes on and join Bill and Billy Kyle. And I think, Bob Dempsey, the old fart, he'll be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in. Okay. Shameless promotions over here and back to our regularly scheduled program.
So, Ron, what do you think about these prices? $2,049 for the Fly More and $2,799 for the Cine combo.
Well, I mean, between us guessing and the pricing for a couple months now, all these prices have been guessed. Before at one point we were at $1,600, then we kind of got ourselves in that we expected the base kit to be $2,000, and the Cine pack we did have that up in the mid $4s, but then some rumors had it lowered down to the mid $3s. So we've seen kind of a version of all these prices before, but maybe this is the first time that the prices are more than just a wild guess.
If it's coming from Lauren, it's worth its weight in gold.
Right.
As far as for me, I'm kind of surprised that from everything that I've heard that the Cine combo is only $2,700. I was expecting it to be a lot more than that.
No, it was 40. Lauren had 46.
Oh, 46. Okay.
Fly More was at 27.
Okay, Fly More is at 27. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
He had 46.49, I believe, for the Cine, which early rumors had it being around 4,500, but then more recent rumors had it about 3,500. So now they got it back up to that.
46. That's kind of what I thought. I kind of thought it was going to land in that 4K kind of range as far as that's concerned. And like I've said, and one of the things, and I think we've talked about it before too, this isn't a drone. The Cine combo is not a drone for a hobbyist, or even let's call us like advanced hobbyists. Okay. It's not for us guys. Okay. It's going to be for a true professional, somebody who is really, really into this. Okay. And first of all, there's not a whole lot of us that are going to shell out $4,600. Okay. For this.
And then you got to go get that new Mac Pro with that M1X in it to tear up that ProRes video when you're during the editing process. So yeah, unless you already have like the professionals already have a computer set up to handle that video, to edit that video, to render it out or whatever. But the amateurs or the semi-pros do not have the rig to handle that. So they're buying doesn't stop at the 46 of the drone. Their buying continues when they get the computer hardware and storage space to handle all this in the production.
You would have to have a system with RAIDs on your computer, and it takes a gargantuan amount of storage, and it's going to take that new Mac to handle it. I mean, it needs a lot of processing power to handle this. Okay. Conversely, the video is going to look great. Of course, the video is going to, I mean, for all that. And then on top of that, we don't know, this is an unknown, but my guess is, you're going to have to re-up that license with Apple probably a year down the road. So
yeah, I mean, that is a wild guess because, lots of times if the ProRes comes built into the device, usually that's kind of a lifetime license in standalone camera. So, I mean, I'm not saying one way or the other, but it's a big reach to say that's a lifetime thing. It could be.
It could be, yeah.
When it's built into a device, it's usually not. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know at this point. So, it's like one of those things we're going to have to wait till a week from Friday to find this out. So,
right. What do you expect that Friday morning? Do you expect just a little snazzy video and it's up for sale on the DJI website, and then 5 minutes later, all your big time YouTube channels, all your Aldrids and whatever drop their videos? Is that how you expect we're going to get our information?
It's exactly
besides the spec sheet on DJI site.
Yeah, that's exactly how I expect it. Now, one of the things I will tell everybody is probably my guess, and this is just a guess, usually about 8:45 or so, you can be able to start buying.
Yeah, you can usually get it before that 9 o'clock. Magic hour. Now back to the packs a little bit, Bill, because a lot of us, the only reason the regular people are talking about Cin's pack is because they don't have the smart controller. But here's a question I want to ask you, and I know we're pontificating again. On day one, at 9 o'clock next Friday morning, when these packs are released, do you think you'll be able to a la carte add the smart controller to the base package?
That's a good question, Ron.
On day one.
From day one, one of the things that I think is I don't think it's going to be available. I think it's going to be exclusive to the Cine combo.
For a short time or for forever?
My thoughts are hold on to your hats, because I think we're going to see a new second generation smart controller come out in 2022. Okay.
So this smart controller will be exclusively made for this Cine pack, and then later on we will get the real smart controller.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and because I know a lot of guys were talking about, how can I get the smart controller? And and my advice is sit tight. Okay. Use what you have, use your phone. If you want to get a triple tech tablet, which I highly recommend, which is something I'm going to be getting at the same time. So there's going to be
our good friend Mike Wright has already ordered, and I think it's coming in a couple days.
Yeah, I'm waiting till I get my bonus coming up here in November, when I get my bonus check, and that's going to be one of my expenditures, is getting that tablet, and I'm going to get a Thor mount for it to put it on the Mavic 3. And that'll be perfect, especially here in Florida. Right. It's just the way the sun is with that, and and I saw original Dobo just he really Triple Tech should give him tablets left and right for the amount of tablets he sold, because his video.
You're an Android guy, so you'll use it as your full-time tablet.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and I can use it. I mean, for anything. And what's nice, and I found this out, Ron, is with the Fimi X8 SE 2020, my Mav mount will fit on there. Okay. So I could technically even use it with something like that. So, that's going to be a real godsend. And the price on that is very reasonable, I think, for, it's probably right around $750, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's real reasonable for that. Plus, you can get a SIM card probably through T-Mobile or whoever, just a standalone SIM card, and you can actually get phone service. It'll actually function as a phone in an emergency if you wanted to. So,
Yeah. Talk on the big phone.
yeah, it's going to be a really, really big phone. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to,
and we joke with the phone thing. You want it for the data. You don't care about ever speaking on it. You just want the data.
right, you're going to want it for the data plan, absolutely. And hopefully, if be able to do live apps, or do a live stream from the Mavic 3. That's one of the things that I'm going to be trying. Once I first get it, that's one of the things that I'm anxious to try to do, is to see how well that works.
Now, speaking of live streaming, we all know that the Fly app has been updated for live stream for both for Android and iOS now. But have we got any confirmation for sure what app the Mavic 3 will run on, the Go 4 or the Fly app? I mean, I know we've seen speculation. I'm going to say I've seen more speculation for the Fly app than I've seen for the Go 4, but none of these leaks have leaked that yet.
No, there's been no confirmation of that, but I'm leaning more towards the Fly app because the code base has been updated. It's current. It's easier for them to update that code base than the Go 4. The Go 4 is pretty cumbersome. And remember, the Go 4 still supports the Phantom 4. So, it's kind of a legacy system as far as that's concerned. So,
and I know Drone DJ did report when the iOS update came out for the Fly app that it was now compatible with the Mavic 3. They wrote that, but without any verification or whatever. So
yeah, and and again, the Fly app is pretty intuitive. It's very easy for a drone newbie to pick up, if you will. They made it pretty intuitive, and the big thing that I liked about it right away, Ron, and it's my favorite feature on the Fly app, is there's only one menu. You don't have to go drill down menu to menu to menu.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, real quickly in the chat, just to Lauren's last two comments, he's leaning towards the Go 4 app as the app that's going to run the Mavic 3.
Interesting.
And Bill, I mean, what you said is all true, but it's not a deal breaker either way for me. If they say it's the Go 4, I'm fine with that. If they say it's the Fly app, I'm one of those people. I mean, I'm not locked to either app.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, either for me, I really don't. My big beef with the Fly app is, those numbers appear in white and against the sky. A lot of times that's hard to see.
Right.
Those numbers up there, and
exactly right. Yeah.
So I'm kind of hope either way it's going to be fine with me. I think I'm leaning towards the Fly app because it has the most recent code base and that's what's being updated. But it could be the Go 4 app, so we don't know.
Or that day the Go 5 app could be released.
Yeah, it could. You very well could be. They could be throwing something brand new at us as far as that's concerned. So that's kind of like a wait and see.
Worry about getting at least $2,000 put aside, Bill, right?
Yeah.
Plus whatever state tax is, whatever tax years. What's your tax bill?
7%.
Yeah. So you need $140 on top of the $2,000 to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So and that's if you just want the base kit. Okay, you speculated that the smart control would not be available, especially at launch. If you just wanted to buy a base kit and spec it out yourself by adding a extra battery, what do you, just a ballpark, what do you think a battery is going to run us?
I'm thinking a battery's probably going to run 125, 135. That's just off the top of my head.
You sound like a little bit low, but I hope you're right, Bill. And so you could probably spec it out with the second battery, and the base kit will probably not come with a case, right? But I know you like to get a nice hard case, so you not getting that soft side case isn't a big deal, right, Bill? For you,
that soft side case, Ron, it's nice, but it's not functional. It really is not functional at all. It holds. Let me put it to you this way, okay? It keeps the drone safe when it's being shipped to you. All right, or if you're ordering it. And that, to me, that's its purpose, because, I'm going to go out and get, either a Pelican or go out to Nanook, you know, which Barry Markowitz is good
Barry
friends with
Markowitz
them.
company, yeah.
You know, I'm going to get one of those because they're built rugged, they're built solid, they'll handle this. They're specifically built to handle this kind of stuff. So
You know, the only reason I like the soft side case, and maybe I have a hard case many times too, but the soft side case, especially one DJI, it almost looks like it could just be like a little bag or a little camera bag. So if you're going someplace where there's a lot of people around, you're not walking through with this big hard Pelican case. Okay, first of all, you know, somebody may say, hey, that guy's a drone over this is gonna be trouble, but also you may have, you know, thieves and stuff. Oh man, that guy's, look at that case. He must have something really valuable. So sometimes you can go a little more kind of under the radar with that kind of like little soft case, almost like you said, just carrying could be a diaper bag or whatever. You know what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
good point, Ron.
Yeah. So, but I mean, when you throw it in the back of your car or whatever, yeah, the hard case is it. You could throw that in the back of your SUV, go out in location sometime. Doesn't matter if it gets tossed around a little bit. So, I mean, I understand from a safety standpoint, you know, just you going out to remote location, that's the way to go. But if you're in a big crowd of people, whatever, you look a lot less conspicuous if you're not carrying that big hard case around.
And especially if it's like neon orange or that bright yellow or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
will, you know, you
yeah.
stand out in a crowd when you do that kind of stuff. Question of the day. What do you think of all the latest information regarding the DJI Mavic 3 Pro? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.